The morning of February 6, 2008, Barbara Sonnen Hernandez collapsed after taking a shower.
I couldn't move. I looked at my legs. I was trying to wake them up, you know, I was hitting them. Nothing, I couldn't even feel that.
At the hospital, tests showed Barbara had Guillain-Barre syndrome, or GBS. It's a rare neurological disorder where the immune system attacks the nervous system. Neurologist Ken Ellington explains.
You can think of a nerve as sort of a copper wire with rubber insulation around it, and in this disease, the body sort of attacks the insulation and strips it off, and so the signal doesn't get through to the muscles very well, and that makes you appear weak.
They told Barbara it could also result in paralysis.
You think paralyzed, you're not going to walk anymore. The first thing I was asking is, am I going to walk again?
As with most cases of GBS, doctors expected the symptoms to pass within a few months. Barbara, along with her husband Carlos and their family, began to pray.
I had to communicate with God and just say, you know, help me here how to approach this, how to take things in stride, because it was going to be a long trip. I could sense it.
He was right. Barbara's condition declined rapidly. Within 2 weeks, she was paralyzed, unconscious, and on life support. She was moved to Seton Medical Center in Austin, Texas. The hospital staff worked around the clock to keep her alive. Carlos stayed at her bedside.
The Lord gave me so much strength that I was so focused on what I needed to be doing.
Doctors were very concerned. They had seen cases of GBS before, but nothing like this.
So she had a very, very severe form of it, and that's only been described in the medical literature 6 or 7 times.
She had a full lung collapse. The other one was partially collapsed. She developed some blood clots too as well. Her blood pressure was so erratic. They would try to level it off. It would bottom out, and then it would just go sky high.
Meanwhile, Barbara was living her own nightmare. According to Dr. Ellington, she was in a dreamlike state, which means she could feel pain.
This was severity, like people were stabbing, you know, like I had stabs, burn, like my skin was on fire.
Still, Carlos believed God would answer their prayers.
There was just so much against her. It started developing within those few months. We, as family, started praying to God to help us.
4 months passed. Barbara says she couldn't bear the pain any longer.
I was tired now. I said, if this is the way it is before you die, then Lord, take me. And I had my conversation with the Lord at that time. I said, take care of my husband, give him a good wife when I'm gone so he's not alone. Take care of my children. And as I told him that, and I felt such a peace, such a beautiful, beautiful peace. I heard a voice very clear. It was like a song. Like somebody sang it so beautiful, and it was a man's voice. And I believe it was the Lord. And he told me, it's not your time. And there was a click in my ears, and my hearing went on. My sight, I believe, didn't return till a week or 2 later.
After such a long time, Barbara couldn't wait to talk to her family and the hospital staff.
Oh yes, a beautiful, beautiful day, beautiful day. All the nurses that I had came in the room. Everyone was surrounding me.
She just got warmed up and took off, and it was Barbara all back again. It was just a great, great gift we got back.
Barbara started the long process of recovery. Considering the severity of her case, doctors weren't sure how well she would do.
That led to me trusting the Lord, putting all my faith in Him. I started looking back at the whole memory of it and saying, if you got me through all of that, nothing is impossible with you, Lord. Nothing's impossible. You'll get me out of this too.
Barbara returned home determined to walk. After months of therapy and prayer, she did.
God's there to hand you the many gifts that He has for you if you ask and rely on Him. He's there.
Every morning when I wake up, of course, I'm thankful. I'm thankful to be alive, that I'm here. There isn't a day that I am not thankful to the Lord. I am truly thankful that I can get a fork in my hand and bring food to my mouth. The little things like that I couldn't do, that we take so much for granted. I'm so grateful and so thankful to be alive.